नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। नमस्ते हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। Okay, so I missed yesterday. So let me see where you said it's till 43, 44. Okay. So did we read 43, 44 or not?
Yeah, we read that.
Okay, I'll just read the translation just to familiarize myself. So last two verses, I think we read this 41 before. The 10 kinds of air acting within the body are compared to the spokes of the chariot's wheel. And the top and bottom of the wheel itself are called religion and irreligion. The chariot analogy is described previously. I think I was there when we were discussing this. So in the chariot, there is a wheel, chariot wheel, and there are 10 kinds of air acting within the body are compared to the spokes of the chariot's wheel. And the top and bottom of the wheel itself are called religion and irreligion. The living entity in the bodily concept of life is the owner of the chariot. Okay. The Vedic mantra, pranava, is the bow. The pure living entity himself is the arrow, and the target is the supreme being. So the arrow has to reach the target, basically. So the arrow is the living being, and his desire should be targeted towards the supreme being, Krishna. And what helps the arrow move forward is the bow, which is the Hare Krishna mantra. The Hare Krishna mantra, when chanted by the living entity, which is like the arrow, makes it move towards the target. Okay, that's how. Maybe Prabhupada, I'll read the purport later. In the conditioned stage, one's conception of life are sometimes polluted by passion and ignorance, which are exhibited by attachment, hostility, greed, lamentation, illusion, fear, madness, false prestige, insults, fault finding, deception, envy, intolerance, passion, bewilderment, hunger, and sleep. All of these are enemies. Sometimes one's conceptions are also polluted by goodness. So rag and dvesh, raga, dvesha, and lobha, lamentation, there is fear, bhaya, all this. Raga, desha, vimuktertu, vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. Krishna says, manmana maya upashita. So one who is freed from vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. Bhaya and krodha, all these are there here in this. Okay, so these are all the enemies or obstacles on the path of self-realization. Rag and dvesh and lobh for material things, lamentation, illusion, fear. Because of fear, we cannot surrender to the Supreme Lord. Don't have faith that the Lord will protect. Madness, false prestige, desire for respect and all that. Insults, fault finding, deception, envy, intolerance, passion, bewilderment, hunger, and sleep. Okay,
Even hunger.
hunger. Yeah, I don't know how it is saying one concept of lesson that polluted by hunger and sleep. Yeah, hunger. Of course, everybody has to eat in this world. Does it Prabhupada say anything about it?
Overeating, maybe. And
Yeah, so that
oversleeping.
Atyahara prayashasya prajalpanyamagraha. So that is also the obstacle, overeating or collecting more than necessary, working very hard to collect more than necessary. That's another way it is described. Yeah. One who eats too much, one who eats too little, one who sleeps too much, one who sleeps too little. He cannot be a yogi. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so then next verse, which is today's verse, this is 45. Yavan rikaya rathamatma datte garishta charanarchannaya nishatam ज्ञानासिमच्युतबलो ददत् अष्टशत्रुः स्वानंदतुष्ट उपशांत idam vijayat. As long as one has to accept a material body with its different parts and paraphernalia, which are not fully under one's control. So the body is not under our control. And as long as we have to accept this body, like many people now, recently, many devotees got stroke, right? It is not under the control when we will get stroke. All of a sudden, heart attack, cancer, you never know, kidney failure, all these things. So body is not under our control, as everybody can relate to it. So as long as one has to accept a material body with its different parts and paraphernalia, so the different parts of the body and the paraphernalia might be all the attachments to the body, which are not fully under one's control. So whatever we possess is also not under our control. Today we possess, that thing can be taken away. One must have the lotus feet of his superiors, namely spiritual master and the spiritual master's predecessors. So as long as you are in the material world, one has to accept the lotus feet of his superiors, namely spiritual master and spiritual master's predecessors. For one reason is that you need guidance, right? When we are bewildered by so many things, we need guidance. So that is why Arjuna accepted. He was bewildered. So, and to guide our boat, right, in the right path, we need some guidance from spiritual masters also. One must have the lotus feet of superiors, namely the spiritual master and the spiritual master's predecessors. So that's why we consult, right? When we have difficulty in our life, then we consult. We go for counseling, right? But that is on the material platform. Yeah, counseling, they're just trying to. But yeah, that can also help. I mean, if you are troubled, your mind is troubled by so many things, then you seek counseling. And so spiritual counseling, ultimately, what we need is spiritual counseling, because material counseling can solve problems for the time being, make our mind peaceful, but it does not solve the problems in the long run. Again, the problems may come because spiritual counseling will actually inspire us to remain on the spiritual path, and then we can avoid so much trouble. If we remain on the spiritual path, then so much trouble is avoided. Like Prabhupada says, we are not indulging in these four things: intoxication, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, which can cause so much trouble. Uh, of course, meat eating, everybody is doing meat eating. Then one may say, well, how is it causing trouble? So many people are eating meat. Well, so many diseases are caused by meat eating. So that is also there. It is proven. I mean, if you read the higher taste, so they say you have to cut down on your red meat and all these other meats, right? It is not so much trouble you can save by giving up meat. And environmental pollution is caused by this meat, because so much forests have to be cut down to build slaughterhouses, and so much water is being used at the slaughterhouse, and so much resources are used. So in this way, so much trouble can be uh, avoided if we follow the direction of the spiritual master. By their mercy, one can sharpen the sword of knowledge. So we become very sharp in our intelligence by the mercy of the spiritual master, by their guidance, by by their, what you can say, instructions. They will cut all the whatever is ignorance is cut out by the instructions of the spiritual master. Prabhupada's lectures, very powerful classes Prabhupada gives. And by his words, cuts away all our ignorance. We say, Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in darkest of ignorance, but my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So we are in illusion, so it cuts the illusion. There is a verse in the Bhagavatam. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam. Let's see.
The sword of knowledge.
Yeah. 1 to 15. Okay, here it is. Because it is talking about the sword. So
Even Bhagavad Gita has it. 441.
यदनुध्यासिना युक्तः कर्मग्रन्थि निबन्धनं छिन्दन्ति कोविदास्तस्य को न कुर्यात् कथारतिम्. With sword in hand, intelligent. So if you have a sword, you can cut through the knots. Knots are those things that are all these desires that bind us to the material world. They are called Hridaya Granthi or Karma Granthi. Intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of work. So karma bandhana. Karma also binds us all this. So with sword in hand, you cut through. Why? How? By remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? Okay. And which verse you are saying in the Bhagavad Gita?
441, 42.
441. Let's
By weapon of knowledge. Doesn't use the word sword.
Yeah, it's 441, 442.
42 actually, so the doubts that has been risen in your heart should be
Tasmad sambhutam ritstham jnana asina. Asina is the weapon. Atmana chitvainam sanshayam yogam athishtotishta bharata. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharat, stand and fight. And then Krishna says in the 14th, 15th chapter.
Weapon of detachment, a strongly rooted tree.
Yes. Sastra dridena chitva.
Asanga shastrena dridena chit.
Asanga shastrena shastra, by the weapon. Asanga shastrena, by the weapon of detachment, or by the axe of detachment sharpened by knowledge, as Bhurijan Prabhu writes. Asanga shastrena dridena chitva, with determination.
With determination, one must cut down the strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment.
Detachment, yes. Asanga shastrena. Asanga means detachment. Shastra means the weapon. Dridena means with determination. Asanga shastrena dridena chitva. Chitva is to cut. So we are entangled in this banyan tree, and for so many lifetimes we are moving from one branch to other, hopping from one branch to other, moving in this banyan tree of material existence. Sometimes we are on a higher branch, sometimes we are on a lower branch, means sometimes we are in higher planetary systems, or sometimes we are in human species of life or demigod species of life, and then we go down to the ant species of life. We are hopping. Hopping means jumping like a monkey from one branch to another in this banyan tree, going up and down. So one should stop hopping, means one should get out, jump away from this banyan tree, right? Cut down this once attached. But the banyan tree will exist, but we can cut our attachment to this banyan tree, because the banyan tree is the material world, and the material world will always exist. But we can get out of the prison if we want. So at some point, one has to be completely detached from all the things, everything, because how long we will keep hopping on this banyan tree from one branch to another. Okay. So by their mercy, one can sharpen the sword of knowledge. And with the power of the Supreme Personality of God's mercy, by their mercy means by the mercy of all the spiritual masters, the sadhus. Sadhu means one who cuts. And with the power of the Supreme Personality of God's mercy, one must then conquer the enemies mentioned above. So these are all the enemies mentioned: attachment, hostility, greed, lamentation, illusion, fear, madness. In this way, the devotee should be able to merge into his own transcendental bliss. And then he may give up his body and resume his spiritual identity. So, devotee will merge into his own transcendental bliss, means he will realize he will become Atmaram, like he'll become self satisfied. He doesn't need anything. Own transcendental bliss means he's experiencing pleasure in his Siddha Deha. When he realizes who he is in the spiritual world, that he will be in this world, but he will be liberated, experiencing happiness. Yeah. So one can experience happiness even in this world, sitting in one place and remembering Krishna. So then he may give up his body and resume his spirit, and then we go back to the spiritual world. So in the Bhagavad Gita 4:9, the Lord says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but reigns by eternal abode, O Arjuna. So, Dravida Prabhu was saying the most important word, of course, it's not translated here in the translation. And Tatvataha means in truth. So, knowing the appearance of appearance and the activities of Krishna in truth, understanding them, the divine, then one will go out of the cycle of birth and death. After giving up this body, he will not come back. In truth means actually, right? You actually believe it. It's not like just theory. We can say, write books on how Krishna took his birth and all this. No, in truth. In truth means actually, from just believing to actually knowing and actually realizing it. So actually realizing it, then what happens? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita in 10.7 that those who are convinced of this opulence of mine, they will engage fully in my devotional service. In 10.7. Yeah. What does it say? Let's see. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yoveti tatvataha. Tatvataha is coming again here. Tatvataha. So vikalpena yogena yujyate natra sanshaya. One who is factually, here Prabhupada has translated, tatvataha means in truth, convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind, engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. So those who are convinced about, and then Krishna further says, yeah, those who know my supreme position as the supreme personality of Godhead, then they will engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Iti matva bhajante ma, thus knowing means not theoretically, but actually realizing it, then they will engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Okay, so this is the highest perfection of life, and the human body is meant for this purpose. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:20-17. Hridehamadyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karnadharam Mayanukule nabhasvate ritam puman bhavabdim na taret sa atmaha. This human form of body is the most valuable boat. So there are two words used, sulabham and sudurlabham, which are contradictory. Sulabham means easily attained. Sulabh and sudurlabham. Durlabham means very difficult. Labham is to obtain, and sulabham means easily attained. And sudurlabham means difficult, and sudurlabham means very difficult to attain. So human form of life is very, very difficult. It is nrideham, very difficult to attain because there are so many transmigrating. Then it says one is easily attained. Sulabham, effortlessly obtained. So how can both be true? It is effortlessly obtained and it is very difficult to. So it says human life, human body, which can award all benefit in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is a very rare achievement. Is automatically obtained. Means once you go down into the lower species of life, you don't have to make any effort. You automatically come to the human form of life. But you have to go through so many years of transmigration before you come to the human form of life. Supposing I become an ant, right, in the next life, then slowly I will evolve. Or a tree, then I'll evolve slowly, slowly, slowly after going through so many species, 8 million species of life. जलजानवलक्षानि स्थावरलक्षविंशति कृमयरुद्रसंख्यकया पक्षिणाम दशलक्षणाम पाशवत्रिंशल्लक्षानि. Padma Puran says, yeah, these are all the species of life. 3 million different kinds of beasts and all that. And then finally I come. So Sulabh is referring to effortlessly obtained, means you don't have to make any effort by the will of providence, by will of Krishna. Automatically all the animals, but it will take a long time after going through. That's why it is very, very, very rare achievement that we come to the human life. So we should always remember that we have come to the human form of life. What are the three characteristics of human life? Prahlad Maharaj describes. It is
Rare,
rare,
temporary,
temporary,
and it's very valuable.
very valuable. Yeah, it is rare, rarely achieved. It is temporary. Yeah, it will finish very fast in Kali Yuga. It will be finished. So don't worry too much about your plans because you have very short life. You have very short life. Everybody has very short life in Kali Yuga. Prayana alpa ayusha sabhya kalau asmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrita. Krishna is saying, I mean, the Bhagavatam is saying that, yeah, it's very short lifespan. So don't about worrying about your big, big plans and projects and everything. Anytime you can die. So, so, and it is temporary. And while, and even if you live 70, 80 years, it's nothing, right? Time passes so fast and few decades will go just like that. And you're on the verge of dying. So, so temporary, it's temporary and it's very valuable. While you have it, it's very valuable because you can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it is very valuable. So this is saying like that. Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karnadharam. Plavam means the boat. And Sukalpam means Su is again extremely well suited for its purpose. So this is a boat. Human body is a boat. Very well suited. And especially when you have a healthy body where you can speak, when you can hear nicely. There are many people who's not able to do that. So we have the tongue, we have the ears, and the body is functioning at least for now. So, so we have this boat which is not broken yet, which will break down. So while you have it, it is very valuable and well suited. And Guru Karna Dharam. Karna Dharam is the captain, is the Guru. Maya Anukulena. Maya is by me. Anukulena with favorable Nabhaswata is the winds. With favor Anukul means favorable. So there is favorable winds that will move this boat, which is the instruction. Iritam, impelled by favorable winds. The Guru being the captain of the boat, the boat will move. You have the human form of life. Puman bhavabdim na taret sa atmaha. Puman means a person. Bhava is material existence. Abdi is the ocean. Na taret. He does not cross this ocean. Then what is he? Sa atmaha. Atmaha, atmahatya. He is killing his own self. So after getting everything, all the facilities, then you don't capitalize on it. Then it's like failure. It's like you're committing suicide. You can get out of the cycle of birth and death once and for all and end your all struggle and miseries in this material world forever. But instead of doing that, then somebody may do something else with this human life. He tries to make a permanent settlement in this material world. And for that, one is very busy, right? So, of course, we all like to be comfortable, but so much comfort, whatever is destined, you'll get also. So, don't waste time. Another verse from the Bhagavatam. There are so many verses like that. Tasyeva heto prayate kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyada.
लभ्यते दुःखादन्यथा सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीरमसा.
Yes. So it's saying you have got this human form of life, so you should try for something that you did not get in other forms of life. Because human life can give you liberation, can awaken your dormant love for Krishna. This access you did not have in other forms of life. So try for something. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtainable, even by wandering from topmost planet down to the lowest planet. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. So don't worry too much about your happiness and distress. Your distress is coming without your asking. Happiness will also come without your asking. Don't worry too much about happiness and distress. But try for that thing, Krishna consciousness, which you did not get. That is why we are here again. Or even we may have a human life. We did not perfect our Krishna consciousness. Like Keshav Maharaj was told, I have good news. You have come to Krishna. I have some good news and I have some bad news. Good news is you were there here before. That's why you are now in Krishna consciousness. You had done it in your past life. Bad news is you did not you did not perfect. That's why you got another material body. And so you're again here with another material body. That's the bad news. Bad news means again we came. We are celebrating our birthday, right? My birthday, my birthday. But actually we failed in our past life. The soul failed to go back home, back to God in the past life. That's why again another term of imprisonment has been given. And with birth, we are celebrating birth, but the concomitant factor for birth is death. As soon everybody who is born has to die, and nobody likes to die. So we celebrate birth, but then we have to also lament for death because we have to die also. So like that. So these people cannot see. They're in ignorance. Uh, that how with birth, death will also come, old age will come if we live long, and disease will also come, and this body is a source of various troubles. And so we were not supposed to accept a material body, but we got this material body because of our material desires. We are back again. We didn't perfect. So we are again back in this. And we are trying to enjoy this body. And some happiness the body gives. And so, but it also gives a lot of pain. So this is what it is. So one who gets everything, this human form of body is the most valuable boat. And the spiritual master is the captain. Guru Karnataram, to guide the boat in plying across the ocean of nations. So we need a guide to navigate. We are in the deep jungle. We don't know our way out, which way we have to go. We need a guide. So the guru is the guide. On the ocean also, which direction is the boat to go? The ship has to go. There is all around there is water. You cannot see the shore. Which direction I have to go to get to the shore? So you need a compass, like all these things, navigation, right? So guru is the navigator. The instruction of Krishna is a favorable breeze. One must use all these facilities to cross over the ocean of nations. So we should use all the facilities, the Shastra, the gurus, the human body. Since the spiritual master is the captain, one must serve the spiritual master very sincerely, so that by his mercy, one will be able to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So follow the guidance, the instructions of the spiritual master, then one will get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Because Vapu is not there always. Vani is always there. So Vani, that's Prabhupada's Vani in all his books. So follow that, and then you'll go back home, back to Godhead. So, and yeah, there's other words. Labdva sudurlabham midam bahu sambhavante manushyam arthadam anityam api hatira turnam yate tana patedanu mrityu yavan nihashreshaya vishaya khalo sarvatasyat. Labdva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante. You have got this human form of life after many, many births. So, very quickly, Turnam, because your life will end soon. So don't wait. Don't give priority other things and get distracted. So very quickly, of course, whatever we have to do, but don't become very quickly Turnam. Yateta, as long as your body which has not fallen down and died, because death is always chasing you. Anumrityu. Anumrityu means death is always behind. It's like we are enjoying, but there's a cobra sitting. And when will the cobra bite? You don't know. We are watching the television, but there is a cobra sitting next to us. We are absorbed in the show, the television show, but the cobra is sitting right next to you. And when it will bite, you don't know. But it is looking at you, and you are absorbed in the television. So that's what it's saying. Death is chasing you. And so very quickly, you should start preparing for your next life. Because this human form of life is very arthadam. Artha means of value. Very arthada means da means to give. It can give you the most valuable thing, or it is very valuable. Anityam, but it is not always going to be there. So if you're sober, if you're very thoughtful, then you should do it very quickly. And then again, the same thing comes here. Sense gratification with one's family and all these things that you got in other species of life. Even the animals, eating, mating, sleeping, defending. This is available in other species of life also. You have done all these things. Sometimes people say, oh, we are also animals, so we need all these things. Yeah, we need eating, sleeping, mating, defending. It's a necessity for the conditioned soul. So yeah, we have to regulate in a certain way. But that is not the purpose of life, because these things are available also to the animals. So Krishna is, this verse is saying, I think it's spoken by Krishna. After many, many births and deaths, we have to read the 11th canto, one achieves the rare human form of life, which all the temporary of affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. अब पछताए तो होत क्या जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत. When time is lost, then what is the meaning of paschatap? When time is gone. So like that we say, अब पछताए क्या जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत. You should have taken care of before. Now all the sparrows have eaten all the grains in the field. Now what can you do? You can't do anything. All the grains are consumed by the sparrows. Similarly, we can think about like that with the time. Because time once gone, then when will you get it? You will not get it back. You may pay millions of dollars. Ayusha shana ekopi na labhya swarna koti bhi. Right? That is a kache nirarthaka.
Kacha nirarthakam niti kacha hanisthatodika.
Kacha hani tato adhika. Kacha hani means So very careful with time. Don't waste time because once you are in old age, then you may think, oh, maybe I should have done this before. Yeah, but now what? The time is gone. So, so right now we have the time anyway, whatever time we have left in this life. In Gujarati, we say Jagya Tyarthi Savar, means whenever you wake up, that's morning. That's morning. Jagya Tyarthi. So let's wake up now. We have not woken up. Of course, you all have, but you are chanting Hare Krishna every day. But make it more serious, more quick. Accelerate. That's also Prabhupada says one should accelerate one's devotional service. So accelerate means become focused, improve the quality and quantity of your devotional service. So he's saying, yeah, thus a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life. Even as a pig, which is considered an abominable species, they're also doing sense gratification. Whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. So we will get, yes, yesterday we were talking about we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we are dependent on Krishna. Krishna is independently blissful, but we are dependently blissful. So if we connect with Krishna, then we can experience much more bliss than what we can get in material life by trying to find bliss ourselves. And that bliss also gives a lot of trouble. Yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkha yona yevate. Krishna says any endeavor will also result in a lot of struggle, and there is a misery that is embedded in it. So Prabhupada says, while one may enjoy sense gratification, there may be some feeling of happiness, but that feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. So, so it keeps us away. It's the enemy because it keeps us away from spiritual bliss. Indriya Tripti Jigyasa. Instead of Brahma Jigyasa, it becomes Indriya Tripti Jigyasa. Satisfaction of the senses. Curious. Jigyasa means, okay, where can I find, there may be TV with so many channels. Now, which channel I should watch? Where I can get the most enjoyment? So always thinking like that, where I can get most enjoyment. Maybe I should try this, maybe I should do this, maybe I should eat there, I should go there, I should do this, so many things. So always constantly the conditioned soul is looking for ways to enjoy. And that's why he's not able to think, he's not sober to think about the goal of life. So here it's described as sober, means very thoughtful, who can sit down and think. Yeah. So the human form of body is the most valuable boat, and the spiritual master is the captain, Guru Karnadaram, to guide the boat in plying across the ocean of nations. The instruction of Krishna is the favorable breeze. One must use all these facilities to cross over the ocean of nations. Since the spiritual master is the captain, one must serve the spiritual master very sincerely, so that by his mercy one will be able to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, by the mercy of the devotees. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasada. By the mercy of the spiritual masters, we get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And what is that mercy? Somebody came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, please give me your mercy. Please give me your mercy. Prabhupada says, I have given you mercy in the form of my instructions. Now you have to follow them. Chant 16 rounds every day. Rise early in the morning. Follow the 4 regulative principles. So all these, so many things. If we make sometimes we say, mercy, mercy, please give me mercy, mercy. Prabhupada says, I've already given you my mercy in the form of my instructions. Now you have to follow them. So then somebody may say, but you give me your mercy so I can follow your instructions. And Prabhupada says, it's like a man who has fallen in the well and a rope is being lowered. So you have to catch hold of the rope. You have to make some endeavor, some effort to catch hold of the rope. So said, Prabhupada give the example. Oh, now please give me your mercy so I can hold on to the rope. Okay, mercy is there, but you have to make some effort, some endeavor, some determination you should have. And Krishna has already given us some determination. We can use it. Like when we have to go on vacation, we are not saying, Krishna, please give me determination. Please give me mercy so I can go on vacation and enjoy. No. Then I'm making all my efforts. So when it comes to spiritual life, Are we making the same kind of effort? That is, so mercy, 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 we ask like that. Of course, we should beg for Krishna. So, but we want Krishna's mercy, then we have to just do it. Just do it. As we try our best. If we are not trying our best and then we are saying, please give me mercy, then it doesn't work. We have to make our effort. That's why we say Yashoda was trying to bind Krishna. She was making her best effort, right, to try to what is this? Parishram. Yeah. Uh, what is There is a nice verse in the 10th canto.
We were
Yashoda was,
reading
huh?
Damodar Lila yesterday, the Krishna book class.
Oh, okay. Parishram means what? She was doing shram from all angles of vision. So maybe I can bind Krishna like this. Maybe I can do like this. Maybe I can take help from others. Maybe this way, that way. Every way she was trying. Like we say, leave no stone unturned. Pari means from all. He was saying, Shikshashtakam Prabhu was saying, Parivar means attacking from all direction. Pari means from all angles. Parishram means making an effort from all angles. Sadhana, sadachar, so many things. Service, so many things, different from every aspect. So we say there are many facets of Krishna consciousness. One is sadhana, one is service. So every angle. So sacrificing for Krishna. So Krishna wants that because he's very demanding, right? He wants attention. He wants complete attention. Mhm. In Shakatasur's pastime, he was not given attention, so he broke the cart. So Krishna is wanting attention from all. Like we say, what is that verse? Shreya Acharanam Sada. What is the verse? Etava Janma Safalyam
देहिनामिह देहि
Devadeshu
प्राणार्थधिया वाचा श्रेया आचरणं सदा.
Prana Artha Dhiya Vacha. Everything, your life, your money, your intelligence, and your words. Prana Artha Dhiya Vacha. With all. That is why we say, yeah, everything is for Krishna, nothing for me. That is Vrajvasi. A significant word here is Achyutabala. The spiritual master is certainly very merciful to his disciples, and consequently, by satisfying him, a devotee gets strength from Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can all these Western disciples maintain sannyas for so many years? Jayapataga Swami, Radhanath Swami, so many. Uh, it's very difficult, and they took sannyas very young age. Bhakti Charu Swami. How can they, Giriraj Swami, how can they maintain for, for so long, such a, because they got the mercy of the Supreme, of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is certainly very merciful to his disciples, and consequently, by satisfying him, or even not sannyasi, there are so many devotees who are carrying on, even grihasthas, who are carrying on in Krishna consciousness, fully dedicated for so many years. How did it happen? Fully dedicated. That is because they have mercy of the spiritual master. And consequently, by satisfying him, a devotee gets strength from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Something very mystical. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. By regular attendance on the classes on Bhagavatam. But Bhagavat is also the pure devotee of the Lord. So by Bhagavatam and by service to the pure devotee, by hearing, taking the guidance. Of course, we have the guidance of Srila Prabhupada through his books. So then all that is inauspicious in the heart, all that is troublesome to the heart is completely destroyed. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. One must first please the spiritual master, then one automatically pleases Krishna and gets the strength with which to cross the ocean of nations. If once and to Pleasing spiritual master means like, yeah, following the guidance and instructions. If one seriously desires to return home, see, we are not submissive. So, in the material world, we were not submissive to Krishna. That's why we came here in this material world. We were not, we were envious, we were not submissive. So, spiritual life means to again become submissive to Krishna. But how do I know that I'm submissive to Krishna? Of course, one way is that I'm following the guidance and the instructions also. But there may be things that I may not be following. I may be following some, I may not be. So that's why you have the devotees, the spiritual masters, to to guide you and to point out what you are not following and how you should follow. So, so if one seriously desires to return home back to Godhead, one must therefore become strong enough by pleasing the spiritual master. For thus one gets the weapon with which to conquer the enemy. One also gets the grace of Krishna. So actually, we have nothing to do in this material world. We are thinking I have to do this duty and that. But once you're out of the body, all duties are finished, right? You forget everything about your situation. And you may not have your duties finished also. But world will go on, right? It's not like if I didn't do my many parents have died while their children are young. The children are growing up, they are doing their thing, right? So many fathers, many people say, I lost my father when I was only 10 years old or 15 years old. Did the child not grow up? The father may have thought, oh, my duty to my child, I did not fulfill. Yeah, there'll be always unfulfilled duties in this world. Of course, we have to do while we are alive, but I'm saying that there are so many things. One man was telling Prabhupada, one man was telling one doctor, Doctor, please give me 4 more years. I have many unfinished plans I have to execute. I have not finished all my plans, all my duties yet. Please give me 4 more years. Actually, what is the duty? We don't have any duty actually here in this material. We have to do while we are alive, whatever we have to do, we have to do. But ultimately, our duty is to get out of this cycle. And also, all the others who are dependent on us, they are also in the cycle of birth and death. Yeah, all the jivas that are. So we have to also help them get out of the cycle of birth and death. If we really love them, we have to give them a situation where there is no misery. Yeah. So not like some stopgap arrangement with patchwork solution. Uh, we have to give them a situation where there is no misery, and that is only possible because this world, Krishna is saying, Padam Padam Yad Vipadam. This is a danger at every step. Samashrita, this is a prayer of demigods, or is it in Brahma's prayer? They often get confused. Samashritaye padapallavaplavam mahat padam punyo yasho murari bhavambudirvatsa padam param padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. Which is 10.14.
Yeah.
Brahma's prayers. Yeah, it's saying, yeah, you should take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, the spiritual master. Get out and you help inspire others also to get out. You love your child, inspire him to take up Krishna consciousness and go back to Godhead. Because your child is really the soul, the spirit soul. So that is very important. Otherwise, what we have to do in this world? Nothing. We came with nothing. Nange aaye the, nange jayenge hum. Naked. Nothing you can take. So, so one also gets the grace of Krishna. Simply getting the weapon of Gyan is insufficient. Just having knowledge. One must sharpen the weapon by serving the spiritual master and adhering to his instructions. Then the candidate will get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of God. So we have to adhere to the instructions given by the spiritual master. In general, sometimes we say, I love Prabhupada, I love Prabhupada. Yes, that's good. But that if you love somebody, as yesterday we were talking, then you have to be obedient and submissive to that person's instructions. In general warfare, one must take help from his chariot and horses in order to conquer his enemy. And after conquering his enemies, he may give up the chariot and its paraphernalia. Similarly, as long as one has a human body, one should fully use it to obtain the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead. So body is there. Anyway, we have to give it up one day. So we while we have it, we use to conquer our anarthas. The perfection of knowledge is certainly to become transcendently situated. Brahma Bhuta. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kangshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. One who is transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards all living entities. In that state, he attains pure devotional service. Simply by cultivating knowledge, as the impersonalists do, one cannot get out of the clutches of Maya. One must attain the platform of bhakti. So knowledge will bring you to Brahma Bhuta stage, but then Krishna says, Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. He attains Labhate, he attains devotional service to me, pure devotional service. When one becomes on the Brahma Bhuta platform, there are no material desires. So he's very joyful, prasannatma. No lamentation, no hankering. But then a prasannatma. But then one has to serve the Lord. One must, so only with bhakti you can get out of this material existence, not by any other means. Pritirnamai Vasudeve Nam.
Namochete deha yogena tavat.
So bhakti is the thing. But of course, Gyan is also important because this is like no Sochati na Kamshati. So bhakti can be mixed. But when you have no material desires, and bhakti is pure. Bhakti is pure. So bhakti also, in one sense, it is sufficient. By practicing bhakti, will automatically come to the Brahmabhuta platform. But then also reading Bhagavad Gita and knowing all these things, this Gyan also helps us move because we become detached. We understand I am not this body, I have nothing to do in this material world. Why are all these Vedic aphorisms? Asango hiyayam purusha. I have nothing to do in this material world. I am a foreigner here. I have nothing to do actually. So accept, uh, become self-realized and go back home, back to God. So one must attain the platform of bhakti. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Self-realized means, okay, one is I am not the body, I am not the mind. I am not the body, I am not the mind. But then I am spirit soul. This is naiti naiti. What I am not. But what I am then? Okay, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. But what really I am? I am spirit soul. And my identity is that I am part and parcel of Krishna. That is part and parcel of the divine. So, bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yashashmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So, serve Krishna with love. Chant Hare Krishna with love. Offer your food to Krishna with love. Whatever you do, preach about Krishna with love. Everything, love has to be there. Without love, Krishna will not accept anything. Unless one has attained the stage of devotional service and the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, there is a possibility that one may fall down and again accept a material body. So we can fall down unless we have attained the stage of devotional service, means prema bhakti and the mercy of spiritual master and Krishna. Therefore, Krishna stresses in the Bhagavad Gita 4:9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Twice Prabhupada has quoted this verse in the purport. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. And we'll finish this. The word tatvataha, meaning in reality, is very important. Tatvataha. Tato mam tatvato gyatva. Here also tatvata means in truth. Unless one understands Krishna in truth by the mercy of spiritual master, one is not free to give up his material body. As it is said, Aruya Krishena Param Padam Tataha Patanti Ado Anadrita Yusmadangrahaya. If one neglects to serve the lotus feet of Krishna, one cannot become free from the material clutches simply by knowledge. Even if one attains the stage of Brahmapadam, merging in Brahman, without bhakti, he is prone to fall down. One must be very careful in regard to the danger of falling down again into material bondage. The only insurance is to come to the stage of bhakti, from which one is sure not to fall. Then one is, so ours is a bhakti movement, right? It's all about loving, serving Krishna with love and devotion. Then one is free from the activities of the material world. In summary, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one must get in touch with a bona fide spiritual master coming in the parampara of Krishna consciousness. Means one must get in touch with the pure devotee of the Lord. For by his mercy and instructions, one is able to get the strength from Krishna. Thus, one engages in devotional service and attains the ultimate goal of life, the lotus feet of Vishnu. Significant in this verse are the words. So, we have also come in touch with Srila Prabhupada, right? I mean, he's there through his Vani, he's still available. Significant in this verse are the words Gyani, Gyana Sim Achyuta Balaha. Gyana Sim, the sword of knowledge. Asim is given by Krishna. And when one serves the Guru and Krishna in order to hold the sword of Krishna's instructions, Balram gives one strength. So we need strength, not physical, spiritual strength. Of course, physical strength also, but spiritual strength, and that is given by Balram, whose appearance day is coming up. Balram is Nityananda. Brajendra Nandan ye sachi suto hoilo she Balarama hoilo nitai. This Balram, comes with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them are so merciful that in this age of Kali, one may very easily take shelter of their lotus feet. Yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudaye Pushpavanto Chitro Shando Tamonudo. Both are like the sun and the moon, and they have arisen simultaneously. Normally, you don't have sun and moon rising simultaneously. Sun is there, the moon is, of course, there, but it's not visible. So, sun and moon have both appeared, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very long arms. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtane sankirtane kapitaro kamalaya taksho. So with his long hands are to reaching out to everyone, and he can bring everyone close to him, right? If you have long hands, you can. So that's how it is described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very, very personal with all his devotees. Yesterday I was hearing a class, and it was mentioned how when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Varanasi, Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, I think Chandrasekhar, and they were there and they were saying, Mahaprabhu, please leave, please stay with us. Because, here there are so many impersonalistic Mayavadi philosophers, Mayavadi sannyasis, then they have no devotion. So please live with us. We are feeling very dry. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who converted 60,000 sannyasis, 60,000 sannyasis into Vaishnavism, who were the disciples of who in Varanasi?
Prakashananda Saraswati.
Prakashananda Saraswati, yes. And he converted them to Vaishnavism, to from Mayavadis to Vaishnavism. This is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So although he converted, he did so much, he was always very personal. For one devotee, he came back. Who was that devotee?
Vasudev Lepar.
Vasudev Leper, yeah. He came back. He had gone a far distance. He came back. And that was also a leper, materially very impoverished and very difficult situation. So Krishna is very personal, and so are all the Vaishnavas. This is not an impersonal thing. Prabhupada was also very personal. He would ask, uh, he had created a worldwide revolution, but he was interested in somebody had some problem, he would tell them, take this medicine like this, and very personally, he would. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he was very personal.
But when in the last, 18 years, when he was in what is that? Jagannath
Gambira.
Puri Gambhira.
Gambira.
Yeah, he was just surrounded by few devotees, Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar, and he was in his elevated bhav.
Yes. And he was, with his elevated devotees, he was very personally exchanging all his things. And then before that, when he was preaching, he was also like, even with Haridas Thakur, um, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Rath Yatra and he would dance, and millions of people were there at Rath Yatra, and he would be the center. But with Haridas Thakur, he would personally go and give him prasadam of Jagannath. And one day Haridas Thakur told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I cannot die. I, I means I don't want to. Uh, I don't want you to
Yeah.
leave your body before me.
Before I do.
Yeah. Before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, I want to die before you die. Means, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nobody dies really, but before you leave this world, I want to leave this. I will not be able to take your separation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fulfilled his desire in his arms, looking at Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he gave up his body. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed this body, right? He created a like a tomb for his. Uh, he filled it with sand with his own hands. He begged alms from everything. And then he personally served a feast to all the devotees. For so how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very very personal. So Krishna is also very personal. With every gopa, he was like on the bank of Yamuna. There were thousands, millions of gopas, and every gopa was thinking, "Yeah, Krishna is reciprocating with me in Govardhan Leela also, and in Ras Leela also." Every gopi was thinking, "Oh, Krishna is with me." So devotees are also very personal, but of course we can't be personal to the same extent as Krishna, because Krishna can reciprocate with everybody at one time simultaneously. But the devotees, of course, we have limitations because of Prabhupada says, yeah, we cannot um, be like Krishna. But whatever we have, there has to be a personal relationship and personal. Prabhupada was like that. So, anyway, I don't know how we ended up here, but we'll finish this. This Balram, comes with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them are so merciful that in this age of Kali, one may very easily take shelter of their lotus feet. They come especially to deliver the fallen souls of this age. Papi yatapi yatachila. Harinam e uddharila. Their weapon is Sankirtan, Harinam. Thus one should accept the sword of knowledge from Krishna and be strong with the mercy of Balram. We are therefore worshipping Krishna Balram in Vrindavan. In the Mundak Upanishad it is said, Nayam Atma Bala Hinenena Labhyo Nacha Pramadat Tapaso Vapi Alingat Vapyalingat Ete Rupayer Atyatate Yastu Vidvans Tasyesha Atma Vishate Brahma Dhama. One cannot attain the goal of life without the mercy of Balram. Sri Narottam Das Thakur therefore says, Nitaira Karuna Hobe Vraje Radha Krishna Pabe. Heno Nitai Bine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Nai. When one receives the mercy of Balram, Nityananda, one can attain the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna very easily. Shesham bandha nahi yaar, britha janma gela tar, vidya kule hi karibe tar, vidya kule hi karibe tar. If one has no connection with Nitai, Balram, then even though one is a very learned scholar or Jnani, or has taken birth in a very respectable family, so Balram is representative, the pure devotee of the Lord. These assets will not help him. We must therefore conquer the enemies of Krishna consciousness with the strength received from Balram. Okay, so stop there. It's already past 8. Okay, so anybody has anything you'd like to say, or we can hear Govardhan Leela.
I think Shakti Radhika Mataji wanted to share. Mataji, you have time?
Yes, Mataji. Today I want to say, Prabhuji, this has been sent by Her Grace Sri Devi Mataji to me one day. It really touched my heart, so I want to share. Can I?
Yeah, sure. Oh, there is chat. I didn't see the chat. Yeah, 1 minute.
So,
What is Kimesh saying? Kimesh is saying people afraid of death have not accomplished what they probably wanted. Mostly material or did not live a fulfilling life. One day, that a moment, it should be the greatest day of this living human. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I was just saying that at the time you were talking about it. So, and now it's true about it. What I was trying to say, it's how people be afraid of death so quickly because of the fact that they didn't accomplish anything, and those accomplishments may have been material or uh things as just not wanted. Have completed what they wanted to achieve, rather than come closer to spirituality, when knowing that even those achievements, if it was planned to be in today's life, will probably get achieved by someone else within this world at some point.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. And share. Share Mataji.
yeah. It's a letter from Krishna.
Hmm.
uh, it might not be applicable to you, Prabhu and Mataji, but it is very much applicable to
No,
me.
everything is applicable to me. Maybe not to
As
you.
you got up in this morning, Krishna is saying, Prabhuji, as you got up this morning, I watched you and hoped you would talk to me, even it was just a few words, asking my opinion and thanking me for something good that happened in your life yesterday. But I noticed you were too busy trying to find the right outfit to wear. Then the time came for you to sit and chant my names. There I thought for sure today, while calling for me, he will really connect with me. But no, so many things from yesterday were still in your mind, and more things to organize for today. No space for me, only broken names. Then, when you ran around the house getting ready, I knew there would be a few minutes for you to stop and say Hare Krishna. But you were too busy. And one point, you had to wait 15 minutes without nothing to do except sit in a chair. Then I saw that you spring to your feet. I thought you wanted to talk to me. But you ran to the phone, checked your messages. I watched patiently all along the day. With all our activities, I guess you were too busy to say anything to me. I noticed that before your lunch, you looked around. Maybe you felt embarrassed to talk to me. That is why you didn't bow your head. That's okay. There is still more time left, and I hope you will talk to me yet. You went home, and it seems as if you had a lot of things to do. After a few of them were done, you turned on the TV. It is said, Prabhuji, it may be our mobile, not thinking about anything, not just enjoying the show. I waited patiently again as you watched the mobile messages and ate your meal, but again you did not talk to me. Bedtime, I guess you felt very tired. After you said good night to your family, you went to bed, fell asleep in no time. That's okay. But because you may not realize that I am always there for you. I've got patience more than you will ever know. I even want to teach you how to be patient with others as well. I love you so much that I wait every day for a nod, a prayer, or a thought, or a thankful part of your heart. It is very hard to have a one sided conversation. Well, you're getting up once again. Once again, I will wait with nothing but love for you, hoping that day will, hoping that today you will give me some time. Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Yeah, it's like we go through the emotions, but we actually may not be remembering Krishna. Like we are chanting, but actually it's saying broken names. So that's our attention may not be there, right? We are multitasking or so many things are going on in our mind simultaneously. So when will you give attention to me? Krishna is saying. Giving attention to your phone and everything else. When will you give? At least for some time. So at least our chanting while we do, we should give our attention. When we read Bhagavatam or whenever we do any devotional activity, it should be done very properly, right? So of course, for devotee, every activity is devotional activity, whether you're going to work or anything, it's connected to Krishna. But when we do actually directly devotional service, at least at that time, we should be with Krishna. So distraction, right? He says, Haridas Thakur says, what are the three things that distract us? Jadiya, Vikshepa, and there is another one. Distraction and callousness, apathy,
Yeah, Jadiya, Vikshepa, and Odysseia.
Odasinya,
Indifference.
indifference. Yeah, all these things are there. Yeah. Our acharyas have so nicely analyzed all this. Harinam Chintamani talks about all this. Apathy, indifference, callousness, and distraction. These are the three things. Even when we are doing devotional service. Okay.
Like Mataji was reading, I also shared something in the past. I put a picture there in the chat. A letter from the holy name.
Let's see the picture. Lord Narayan speaking to Gop Kumar.
No, not that. The picture above that. So Krishna is saying while we are chanting, I saw you today, your lips were moving, but your heart was far. I still came, I still stayed, I always do. I don't need perfection, I just need your presence. I'm not a sound, I'm someone who loves you. I'm Krishna, I'm in my name. Even when you forget me, I don't forget you. So it's like, yeah, we're calling out to Krishna while we are chanting. When Krishna comes, when we call out to his name, but then we are inattentive to him and we are distracted thinking of so many things. But Krishna is so patient, he's ever waiting, ever willing, and ever working. He's patiently waiting for us, and that's what he tells Gopakumar when Gopakumar goes back home to Golok Vrindavan. Krishna greets him and says that I'm very fortunate that you have finally come back to me. For so long, I was so eager to see you, and you have passed many, many lifetimes without paying attention to me. So Krishna is there everywhere. You can see, whatever we have gotten in this life, the gifts that we have gotten, this human body, the association of devotees, so many things. Actually, we can see Krishna's hand in everything, but we don't pay attention to Krishna. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this lifetime or this lifetime you will turn towards me, but I could find no pretext. So even though we don't want to turn towards Krishna, but out of mercy, Krishna sends devotees in our life. So he makes us, or he gives suffering in our life. He arranges a situation in our life, which is also Krishna's mercy, causeless mercy, because it makes us turn towards him. It makes us question, why am I suffering? Who am I? Like that. So that is also Krishna's intervention. And then you showed me no mercy. And I became very impatient, Krishna is saying. I became full of anxiety. So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct. I did not see what karma was to give. I just transgressed karma, and I made you take birth in Govardhan. I myself became your guru. So this is desperate. Krishna is desperate. He's in so
Causeless
much
mercy.
anxiety. Huh?
Causeless mercy.
Yeah. So Krishna is desperate for us to come back. He's in so much anxiety. It's like a child separated from the parents. I mean, how can the parents live? Krishna is crying in the spiritual world for us to come back to him. And we are crying here, but we don't realize it. That we are suffering so much because we are separated from Krishna. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I was remembering as Mataji was saying. Krishna is waiting and he's checking on us, seeing when will we turn towards him. We are busy enjoying in so many different things. Mm. We don't give attention to the person who loves us the most. And we are seeking for love elsewhere. So George Harrison says everybody is looking for Krishna. Some knows, but some don't know. So in others, in relationships, anything, we are looking for Krishna, for the other person to be like Krishna, because we want perfection. Only Krishna can be perfect.
And the pure devotee, the Lord.
Yeah. And the pure devotee of the Lord tells us that only Krishna is your best friend. Not that I am your best friend. As you said, even pure devotee may have limitations, that he may not be able to reciprocate with everybody. Prabhupada had so many disciples. Yes, he was writing letters to them, but many did not get even to see Prabhupada, right? But they were connecting to Prabhupada with his words, with his instructions, with his Vani. So, and then Prabhupada also said, I met my Guru Maharaj only few times, right? So, there may be restrictions. That there may be limitations. Of course, yeah, pure devotees' words are so powerful that we can feel their presence in their words, in their Vani. And
Like
of course,
Prabhupada
the
says, I was never separated from my spiritual master.
yeah,
Like,
I will always live in my books, he said. I will live with my disciples, he said.
and he also said, right, I never felt,
Separation from my Guru Maharaj.
yeah.
Yeah,
When
because the instruction of the Guru is same as the presence of the Guru.
Bhakti Charu Maharaj was saying to him, Prabhupada, now I am with you, I am serving you. But at those times when you were alone in New York, when you were all by yourself, Prabhupada says, no, no, I was never alone. I always felt the presence of my spiritual master with
I'm
me.
Krishna.
Hmm.
Krishna is my spiritual master.
Yeah, because they said that, oh, when Prabhupada came to Mayapur, he didn't go to the Samadhi of his spiritual master. He directly went to the Mayapur temple. So they were saying, and then Prabhupada says, do they ever think that I'm separated from my spiritual master? So, okay. So,
Yeah, so we can be the best friend of everyone, telling them that Krishna is your best friend. Not that I am your best friend, that I can help you or I can. So Prabhupada also says surrender to Krishna. He will help you. He's the actual friend. Let me paste this purport here from Prabhupada. Says, we perform philanthropic work thinking that we are the friends of human society. Someone may proclaim himself to be a very good national worker, the best friend of people and of the country, but actually he cannot be the greatest friend of everyone. The only friend is Krishna. One who should one should try to raise the consciousness of the conditioned soul to the platform of understanding that Krishna is the actual friend. If one makes friendship with Krishna, one will never be cheated and he will get all help needed. Arousing this consciousness of the conditioned soul is the greatest service, not posing oneself as a great friend of another living entity. The power of friendship is limited. Although one claims to be a friend, he cannot be a friend unlimitedly. There are unlimited number of living entities and our resources are limited. Therefore, we cannot be of any real benefit to people in general. The best service that we can do is to awaken people to this understanding of Krishna consciousness, that Krishna is the supreme enjoy, he is the supreme proprietor, he is our best friend.
and
And
if
that
so many
is,
devotees become Krishna conscious and they start spreading Krishna conscious, they can all become instruments of Krishna. That's why we need so many preachers, Prabhupada said. There are so many conditioned souls everywhere in this world who need help. And if everybody like takes up this task of preaching Krishna consciousness, then so many people can be reached out. Like they said, when where are the Hare Krishnas now, right? Before they were seen everywhere. The Hare Krishnas were at the airport, there were Hari Nams going on. Everybody was out meeting the conditioned souls and giving Prabhupada's books. But now, yeah, so if a lot of devotees take up this mission of, then the whole world will change. Yeah, if they all start spreading, become instruments of Krishna and become in spreading Krishna consciousness. Yeah, I was with Kalakanda Prabhu, and over the weekend, and he was saying he came from the leadership conference, and he was saying, despite all these problems are there in ISKCON, but still it's growing. Yeah, so many new temples are coming up, and so many everywhere. Devotees are like it's growing like so much, right? So many new temples and so many devotees and like that. So how did all this happen? This happened because, and then it can happen even more if all the devotees go out and give Krishna to others. So in the form of Srila Prabhupada's books and like that. Okay. That's why Prabhupada engaged his disciples in service of spreading Krishna consciousness. He would say, okay, now you go there, now you go here, now you go here. And in this way, so many conditioned souls.
Mm.
Yeah. Because we get the bhakti, Krishna bhakti janam mool hoy sadhu sangha. So bhakti to Krishna, it comes from sadhu sangha, where by contact with the sadhus and remaining in the association of the sadhus, they are our source of nourishment. For like you all are coming on the call and sharing. So I am feeling also nourished by your association. So without sadhu, it is difficult to remain inspired, sadhu sangha, to remain inspired in Krishna consciousness, especially in Kali Yuga, unless you are very, very strong and like, that. So, okay.
Yeah, and we associate with sadhus through their Vapu and Vani by hearing from them,
Yes.
following the instructions, and they engage us in service.
Yeah, although we can do all the classes on YouTube and everything, but when we come in the physical, like in the temple, and we all do Sankirtan together, there's a different effect, right? Because who was saying that on in YouTube, when you're hearing, you can pause it, then you can do something else, then you can do something else. You can pause, but when you are in the lecture, you're sitting there. Normally, you can also get up and go.
Kari Prabhu was saying.
Yeah, you can also go and get up and go. But generally, when you are in the class, you are sitting, you sit there. And so coming in the physical association of the devotees is also very important because, and you see them personally and you can ask questions and you can get, of course, we're doing Zoom because we cannot meet every day, but ideally every day we should have morning program. Kalaganda Prabhu was saying, Potomac temple, big temple, but hardly anybody in the morning. Yeah, nobody's there. Maybe on Sundays they come, but the temples are not there in the morning. There's nobody in the
There's not many people living in the temple. Most are grahasthas outside. So.
Yeah, so that's the situation now. Okay, so but yeah, we should come if we come together for morning program, do chapa together and do like this, then it inspires and that creates a bond between the devotees. Parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavadisha mithorati. Together we develop our attraction to Krishna, mithorati, mithotushti. One becomes satisfied. Nivritta mithatmana becomes detached. So, yeah, that's very useful. Okay.
So we were talking about Govardhan, this place called Anniur in Govardhan. And so we were a little bit talking about the Govardhan Leela and how when Indra had was trying to devastate the Vrindavan Dham, then all the cowherd boys, they were with Krishna, and this little boy, cowherd boy Vishal, was holding on to Krishna. And Krishna got an idea, yes, the best protection from rain is an umbrella. We should find an umbrella which can protect all the Vrajvasis. He paused for a moment, and one of the cowherd boys asked, give them umbrellas? You really want to give everybody umbrellas? So the cowherd boys did not think Krishna is God, so they would not take him very seriously. The
This
boy,
is when they were under, what is this? When did this happen?
this is Govardhan Leela.
So they are under Govardhan Hill.
They are not under Govardhan Hill yet.
Okay.
It's like Indra is bombarding the whole Vrindavan with rain,
Oh,
and everybody is getting wet. And Krishna and the cowherd boys are together under a tree, and Krishna is will come up with the idea of lifting Govardhan now. So the boys looked at each other in disbelief. Another cowherd boy, Vijay, said, Krishna, it is going to take more than umbrellas to protect us from this kind of rain. You know how boys are. It's rainy and windy, but they still joke and have fun, while girls run home crying. Another boy said, maybe you should just give up boats, Krishna. Should just give us boats, Krishna. And Krishna replied, we do not need boats. We need one umbrella that will protect all of us. And raising his voice over the thunder and the rain, he said, Govardhan will be that umbrella. And there was total silence. Usually, when an authority makes a big proclamation, clapping starts. But the boys were silent. Then, at the same time, they asked, Krishna, who can lift such an umbrella? So, Krishna is saying, Govardhan will be the umbrella, and the other boys, say, who will lift him? Krishna said, I will. All the boys started laughing and laughing. Oh, right, Krishna. Sure, I have to carry your lunchbox every day because it is too heavy for you. And now you're going to lift a mountain? Then little Vishal, still holding Krishna's arm, his head buried in Krishna's chest, looked up and said, Krishna, don't do anything dangerous. Someone, someone said, we are not getting anywhere. Let's find Balram. He's older than Krishna. He will know what to do. So they did not think that Krishna can do that and not a good idea. Let's find Balram. But then Krishna dramatically turned towards Govardhan and said, empowered by the love of my friends, I can lift the three worlds. What to speak of Govardhan? So Krishna turned to Govardhan and says, yeah, I can do anything by being empowered by my devotees. So that I was saying that that's where, even when he lifted Govardhan, everybody was saying, कुछ माखन को बल बढ़ो कुछ गोपन करे सहाय श्री राधा जी की कृपा से ही श्री गोवर्धन उठाए. That he ate butter and he got strength, and the Gopas helped him, and ultimately it was Radharani's mercy by which he was able to lift. So Krishna also is saying, empowered by the love of my friends, I can lift the three worlds. What to speak of Govardhan? We remember that the cowherd boys are in Sakyaras and they do not realize that Krishna is God. They know and love him like a friend. They do not realize his supremacy. They kept saying, no, no, this is impossible. So the friends, they don't realize Krishna is God. And little Vishal kept saying, it is too dangerous. And Stuka Krishna said, even if it was possible, I would not allow it. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that Krishna just kept standing and smiling as rainwater dripped from his turban onto his face. Then one of the cowherd boys gave him one last warning. Krishna, I am warning you, don't bite off more than you can chew. You may have killed a few demons, but lifting this Govardhan is another thing. Krishna's friends think that he is equal to them. Tumi kon bada lo, tumi ami sham. Krishna, the friends of Krishna says, you're not a big man, you and I are equals. Sometimes he even loses when there is a wrestling match or in running or in different games. There was a stalemate in this pastime. It was going nowhere. The flood waters were rising and the wind was blowing harder, and Indra, inspired by success, was ordering the clouds, kill them all. Then Purnamashi, who was arranging all the Leelas, found a very interesting solution to the problem. She inspired Madhumangal, who, despite the fact that the water was up to everybody's knees and rising, was calmly eating a laddu. He took out his Brahman thread and said, my dear Vaishya friends, listen to the intelligence of a Brahmana. I will solve this problem. Just do as I tell you. You may all be right. Krishna is weakling, but I am a powerful Brahmana, and by my mystic power, I can empower Krishna to do the impossible. So he's eating his laddu and he's very calm and he's saying that I am very intelligent. Krishna is a weak person, but I will give him my powers. I will empower him to do the impossible. Sometimes the girls are a bit afraid of Madhumangal because he's a Brahmana and they were taught to respect Brahmanas, but the boys just started laughing, holding their stomachs and rolling on the ground. Right, sure, Madhumangal, you are going to empower Krishna to do the impossible. So this is a very dangerous situation there, but still, Madhumangal is making jokes and boys are laughing. Ultimately, they are fearless. In Vrindavan, everybody is fearless. have full faith that Krishna will protect us no matter what. But they're making jokes. So he's saying, they are saying, they're laughing at Madhumangal, saying, "Yeah, sure, you will empower Krishna to do the impossible." Stoka Krishna stood up and said, "I challenge you both. We will test your strength, Krishna, and your mystic power, Madhumangal." He pointed to a tree and added, "Let's see you both twist the trunk of this Kadamba tree like someone wringing out a wet cloth." So I think we have heard this previously before lifting Govardhan Hill. The boys were asking Krishna for a challenge, and they challenged both Krishna and Madhumangal that you have to twist the trunk of this Kadamba tree like we twist wet cloth. The challenge was to take the trunk of a big Kadamba tree and twist it like a rag. Krishna looked at Madhumangal, Madhumangal looked at Krishna, and Krishna stood up, uprooted this huge tree, took all the branches, twisted it, and tied the tree up in a knot and threw it at a distant place. The cowherd boys were going, "Wow, maybe he's a demigod. Well, then Krishna can do it. So come on, let's go. Let Krishna lift Govardhan." Now, with the blessings of Madhumangal and the enthusiasm of his friends, Krishna marched off to Govardhan Hill with all the cowherd boys saying, "He's going to do it. He can do it. He's going to lift Govardhan Hill. Govardhan is going to become our umbrella and save all of us. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai our friend." The cowherd boys started calling everybody out of the caves. "Come on, out of the caves, just watch this." And famously, as it is depicted, Krishna took that hill with the little finger of his left hand and became an umbrella, and all the residents of Braj were safe from the deluge of Indra. Moreover, to make sure that not a drop would fall on Govardhan, Sudarshan Chakra appeared above the mountain and started spinning, burning the sprays of water. At that spot, Sanatan Goswami made his bhajan kuti, remembering that part of Govardhan Leela. We talked about this Chakra Tirtha. Witnessing the power of this little cowherd boy, Indra came to his senses and realized that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that he had made a serious mistake. Immediately, he ordered Samvartaka to stop the attack. Nevertheless, as we know, Krishna held Govardhan for 7 days. Now, the seriously inquisitive student who wants to analyze all these amazing pastimes with his intelligence might ask, well, if all the water stopped, why is Krishna holding up the hill for 7 days? Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains, this was the first time that all the Vrajvasis were actually together for the first time all together, so close to Krishna. When we love someone, we want to be close to that person. We cannot tolerate even a moment of separation. A moment of separation seems like eternity. Here was an opportunity to be with Krishna all 24 hours for 7 days. Krishna allowed it to happen because love is reciprocal. As much as we love Krishna, he reciprocates with our feelings. He also wanted to be in the association of his devotees. So he was fulfilling the desires of his devotees to be with him for all day, all night. Different leelas that take place in different places in Vrindavan, and you cannot mix them. There are different leelas which take place in different places in Vrindavan, and you cannot mix them. That is called rasabhas. If the rasas are mixed, it does not give pleasure. Remember when we were in Ter Kadamba, originally it was a Goshala. The cows of Maharaj Nanda were there, and he had 900,000 cows. This is the place where the cowherds spent their time together. That was in Ter Kadamba. One time the cowherds were taking care of the cows and the cowherd boys were playing, having fun and looking after calves. Mother Yashoda was very worried about her little Krishna would go from Nandagram to Ter Kadamba. So Krishna was taking little calves with him and Mother Yashoda was worried. His soft lotus feet would pick up thorns and sharp stones would his lotus feet would be pricked by thorns and sharp stones. When Krishna and Balram had already left Nandagram hill and headed on their way, she tried to go with them to make sure and see that everything was fine. But Balram stopped her. "No, Mata, it is not the place for you." So she wanted to also follow Krishna and she wanted to go wherever Krishna was going. So Balram stopped Yashoda. "No, you cannot go. That's not a place for you. You should stay here and we will go with the boys. You have nothing to do there." Because if Yashoda goes and the boys cannot do their games and naughty activities, they want to be without surveillance. So Krishna's leelas with gopis are absolutely secret. They do not want anybody to know anything about it. This is the science of rasa. How to help spiritual feelings reach their peak. This way, rasas are not mixed. All parts of Vrindavan are divided into places or pastimes in different rasas. There are places for the cowherds, for the gopis, and for the elders. They do not mix. So when Krishna is with the gopis, there are no other cowherd boys with him. Same thing when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing the all-night kirtans in the house of Srivas Thakur, he would allow only few devotees to be present in that kirtan. Otherwise, it would be rasabhas, because others who come will not be able to recognize the higher bhav and rasas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and other devotees. So he would have a small group of devotees that he wants to be with. So of course there is Harinam Sankirtan where outside Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was with everybody. Even when we said about Jagannath Puri and Gambhira, he was only with few devotees who could understand the bhav of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time, because he's the highest Mahabhav of Radharani. One time Srila Prabhupada visited our temple in Paris. On the altar, there were Radha, Krishna and Baldev, Subhadra and Jagannath. Those big deities barely fit on the small altar. It so happened that Radharani was standing very close to Balram. Baldev, we thought it was all right to do this like one big family. Having arrived from the airport, Prabhupada directly went for darshan. And when he saw our altar, he was very upset. We could not understand what was wrong. We were offering new garments to the deities and were taking care of them so nicely. But seeing Prabhupada's feelings, the pujari started crying. I was there when Prabhupada started chastising the pujaris. What is this? Don't you understand the science of rasa? Radharani is too close to Balram. How can Radha and Krishna be so close to Balram? Krishna will feel uncomfortable enjoying the association of his beloved in the presence of his elder brother. So that Krishna Prabhupada could see that minor detail, because he's into deep into the rasa, so he understands. Of course, younger brother and elder brother, they have their pastimes and their jokes, but when younger brother is meeting with his beloved, it is not the right place for the elder brother. Prabhupada asked us why we did it. The devotees did not know what to answer. We did not understand anything. Prabhupada ordered, "Take away Balram from here." The pujari asked, "Take Balram away completely?" He said, "No, hang or stretch something between them." The pujari thought he would do it later, but Srila Prabhupada was standing there waiting. For Prabhupada, everything that was happening was important because it was rasabhas, the mixing of rasas. That is why he kept standing and waiting. When one of the pujaris placed a bamboo screen between Radharani and Baldev, Prabhupada smiled. So the rasas do not mix in Vrindavan, but all the Vrajvasis are one big family. Krishna fulfills the desires of everyone. Therefore, he organized such a Leela whereby everybody was together in one place. In an unimaginable way, in this Leela, all the rasas intertwined for Krishna's pleasure. There was all Shant, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, all rasas were there underneath the hill. The Vraj gopis were the happiest because they experienced Purva Rag. They already
When
loved
I get
Krishna.
back, I'm going to switch you to that.
They already loved Krishna, but they had never met alone before. They were no longer children, and in the Vedic culture, teenage boys and girls cannot spend time together. But now they were right next to Krishna. They could admire him, and he was looking at them without trying to hide it. So, earlier days, gopis could not be with Krishna or could not directly even look at Krishna. But this was an opportunity to be very close to Krishna and directly look at Krishna. Even Amritam Prabhu was saying that if anybody would question, "Oh, how come you're looking at Krishna?" And then the gopis would say, "You are also looking at Krishna." Everybody was looking at Krishna, the beautiful form of Krishna when he lifted Govardhan. All the gopis in Vraj want Krishna to be their husband. They are thinking, when will I marry Krishna? Krishna is capable of making all women happy. In Dwarka, he married 16,108 queens and could make all of them content. The gopis worshipped Kaityani to get Krishna as their husband, but Purnamashi forbade them to do so, because love in separation is much stronger than the feeling we experience after getting married. So all the gopis were married to the cowherd men. Some scriptures describe that they were just thinking that they were married, that it seemed to them they were married. Or we say that during the Brahma Vimohan Leela, when Brahma had captured all the cowherd boys, Krishna expanded in form of those cowherd boys, and Krishna married in the form of those cowherd boys, married all the gopis. These are very confidential topics. Somehow or other, when they came under Govardhan Hill, they received a wonderful opportunity to see Krishna, to be close to him, just like we have programs here. Each. Uh, okay, well, I'll read tomorrow. I think there's a page that is missing. But I think what he wants to say is that when the devotees come together and they have a wonderful opportunity to chant Hare, do Sankirtan together, do services together. So there's more joy, as you were saying, there's more joy in serving together. So, like how they were experiencing under the Govardhan Hill. So, continue tomorrow.
So also in Aghasura's pastime, also the cowherd boys were fearless, right? They, as Madhumangal is eating a sweet, right? It's raining and pouring, but Madhumangal is. So those who are with Krishna, they feel Krishna is there with me. So they entered Aghasur also, Aghasur's mouth. They were thinking this may be like a python or some big snake like that, and we are entering. But okay, Krishna is there with us, so no problem. We are entering. So they entered into Aghasur's mouth. Even when
Mhm.
when they were in the middle of the forest fire, Krishna said, close your eyes," in the middle of the forest fire, and all the cowherd boys. Oh, Krishna is there. They closed their eyes. Krishna swallowed the whole forest fire. So yeah, so those who are with Krishna, they are kind of fearless, and they feel Krishna will protect me. So he's my friend. So
But
that's good.
also, I mean, like the Aghasur pastime did Prabhupada right that, I mean, devotees should also use their intelligence, not get themselves in dangerous situation that
Yeah.
Krishna has to come and protect them.
Hmm.
But Krishna also has given us intelligence or a voice in our heart. Paramatma also tells us, don't do this.
Yeah, that is true. Because we cannot just do anything. I mean, Krishna also guides within her, but everything like how this Krishna consciousness movement spread was all because of like fearlessness. Like Brahmananda went to Pakistan, and I mean, they were ready to do anything. Like Prabhupada also came to the West without any arrangements and traveling on the not knowing. So they were completely depending on Krishna. Of course, there was order from the spiritual master. So when other devotees also went to London, they didn't have any money. They didn't think, but because Prabhupada had given the order to Malti Prabhu, Sham Sundar, so that is it was authorized kind of because Prabhupada had given the order. So they went and they were they started a whole temple. Then so yeah, they were
For the
fearless and they.
service of Krishna, we can take risk.
Mhm.
But not so. Let's say they say that okay, this one disciple of Prabhupada was going to the beaches and distributing books, and after some time he was not seen because that's not a good place. Or when they went to clubs, nightclubs, and they took Prabhupada, Prabhupada says this is not a place for gentlemen. Yeah, you have come here for preaching, but that's not a. You may fall down also.
Yeah, so one is that the order of the spiritual master has to be there. I mean, it has to be confirmed by the spiritual master. Then this is certain potency comes with the order to fulfill that order. That is one thing. And the second thing is, yeah, we have to also know where we are at in our consciousness. So, um, yeah. So both things. So one has to like, yeah, that's why this guidance is required. Otherwise, we may do things whimsically and we may think, yeah, I am doing it for Krishna, but we may actually fall down. So, so that's a good point. Um, yeah. Even Prabhupada coming to the West and living amongst all the hippies and all the, Prabhupada is not going to fall down because he's a pure devotee, but some other person like that. So, yeah, but our movement actually spread because of all the risks that authorized risks that the devotees took, and the movement spread to so many. Like many devotees joined the temple, right? That is also a risk. Like Prabhupada Swami, he was a medical student. Giriraj Swami, father was upset with him. He would not get any inheritance if he would join. And then you don't know whether this movement is going to stay on, how it is going to, in the future, how is it going to work out, whether it will remain together or not. And at that point, yeah, you may not have any source of income because you dropped your career right in the middle of your youth. And so there were so many, like, it's a risk uh, to do something like that. But many devotees did that. Right? I mean, so
That's
some others were like hippies, so they were like already looking for an alternative to this kind of, so they were all right. But there were many who came from who were doing a career and who were having nice situation materially speaking, but they dropped it. So here all, I mean, then of course it was Prabhupada behind them. Yeah. Even taking sannyas is a very risky thing, right? At an early age. Of course, many left also, we can say like that. Prabhupada gave sannyas to many young people, but they could not. Go ahead, Kimesh, you wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like one of Prabhupada's greatest lessons I found was that before he died, his last lesson was the art of dying. Teaching them the art of dying, and he did it while he was on his last breath. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
I just thought it was very powerful. Like that touched me so much, even more now that I'm understanding so much more about this consciousness than I did just with Krishna alone. And
Mm.
it's it's such a great bridge between yourself and reading the books, and then Prabhupada in between of a translation in between.
Mm. Yeah. Other thing was about rasa bhas. Right? Rasa bhas should not happen. Uh, so some devotees say naming of the Delhi deities, Radha Partha Sarthi. Hmm. Is that Rasa Bhas? Because Radha Partha Sarthi. How can you name like that? Partha Sarthi is in Krishna, of course, Partha Sarthi, but they were saying something like that. Is this Rasa Bhas? So there's an
Also in Kurukshetra they met, right? When Krishna was no Parthsarthi is Kurukshetra when he was Arjuna's charioteer,
yeah.
chariot driver, but that Radharani was not there at that time.
Radharani was not there. So Radha Partha Sarthi. So there's an article on Dandavats about who says Shri Radha Partha Sarthi is Rasa Bhas. Like Balram cannot be close to Radharani when Krishna is also there. So we can, Prabhupada said, you put something, because Krishna cannot be with Radharani very comfortably in the presence of his older brother Balram. So, similarly, the subject of Shri Radha Partha Sarthi, this is an old article, 2007, very old, has mystified many devotees. When one reads the Nectar of Devotion and learns a little bit about contradictory mellows, one invariably thinks about it, then scours for recollections of examples of rasabhas, and it happens upon a major question mark. Shri Radha Partha Sarthi. But think, no, it cannot be. Many devotees are unable to explain or even answer questions arising out of curiosity concerning the deities. Indeed, during Srila Prabhupada's time, some of his disciples questioned him with the inclusion of the words like, isn't it rasabhas? And then today some still return niggling doubt, while others think this is still the case. What is the truth of this matter? Firstly, we have to understand and be convinced that Srila Prabhupada was conversant with all the facets of devotional knowledge. Any nagging uncertainty in an individual will give an impaired judgment on Srila Prabhupada's ability to tell compatible from incompatible. I don't know who named the deity, but I think it was named by Prabhupada only. So he's saying, first of all, we should be convinced that Prabhupada is conversant. He's a pure devotee and is conversant with all facets of devotional knowledge. It will further reduce him to a level of moderately realized soul who misunderstood some finer points of rasa. The matter will stay unresolved and the persistent question mark will encourage bouts of why, what if, and it could be. Here is an attempt to eliminate any trace of suspicion, and simply by using Srila Prabhupada's own words. There is no resorting to conjecture either. This seemingly bold and audacious translational combination of Shri Radha Partha Sarthi. it will be seen as ingredient of Srila Prabhupada's internal mood, thus enhancing our appreciation of him even more. So how it is not rasa buzz? Everything Srila
Also,
Prabhupada. Huh?
he has this Radha Londoneshwar.
Yeah, that also.
Londoneshwar.
Radha Parishishwar also.
Hmm.
Hmm. So Prabhupada says, yeah, Krishna has come to Paris because all the beautiful women in Paris. So Radha Parishishwar, like that. Everything Srila Prabhupada did was systematic and consistent with his inner mood. The case of Sri Radha Parthasarathi certainly fits in. Unfortunately, some devotees look at certain things he did or write in isolation. Okay. A pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada is not always understood, but his writings tell of a fully understood grasp of matter. He writes in Nectar of Devotion. In the mixture of various mellows or reciprocations of ecstatic love between Krishna and the devotees, if the results are not pure, there will be incompatibility. His purity of purpose discounts any thought. Sri Radha Parthasarathi was an arbitrary combination. On the same page, he says, Sri Rupa Goswami wants devotees not to commit such incompatibilities in their writings or in their dealings. The presence of such contradictory feelings is called rasabhas. It is known that when Sri Krishna is in Dwarka, is Sri Dwarkadish, all the Yadus and Pandavas. So we have Rukmini Dwarkadish. It's okay because all the Yadus and Pandavas with their extended family members reside there eternally. It is also known from books like Brihad Bhagavatamrita that in spite of Lord Krishna's loving exchanges with Dwarkavasis, his optimum mood is that of Brajvasis and the land of Sri Vrindavan. Nectar of Devotion states, a rasa which is actually prominent may sometimes appear to be manifested in a subordinate way, although its actual position is as the main or prominent loving feeling of a devotee. As such, the exclusivity of an individual's relationship with Krishna cannot impinge on another. Thus, the gopis of Vrindavan do not like to see Krishna as the husband of Rukmini, nor do they address him as Rukmini Raman, which is Radha Raman, not Rukmini Raman. The gopis don't like to address. In Dwarka, they may say like that. This distinction need to be understood in terms of Krishna's name and personality. On the same page, we find this. So Prabhupada says in TLC, yeah. Although the husband of Rukmini and Radha's Krishna are on the same level, in the ordinary sense, still in the spiritual world, names indicate different understandings of various aspects of Krishna's transcendental personality. If names are all important, Srila Prabhupada had to be rooted in a solid relationship with Krishna to enable to unite Sri Parthasarathi with Srimati Radharani. So he is a charioteer of Arjuna, right? Parthasarathi. Even if an overlapping mallows helps to achieve the desired outcome. It is said very often, in addition to one's regular rasa, there it is found the presence of some other rasa, and the mixture of these living humors is sometimes compatible or palatable and sometimes incompatible or unpalatable. In the same context, Prabhupada says this, according to the opinion of all expert devotees, anything that will arouse ecstatic love for Krishna is to be taken as an impetus for transcendental mellow. If such mixtures can sometimes arouse spiritual emotions, we can link this with Srila Prabhupada's action. We have to look at the names again. Krishna is outside of Vrindavan, is Vasudev Krishna, or Vasudev Krishna, who has unlimited other names befitting his innumerable activities. Srila Prabhupada does not choose any other name but Sri Parthasarathi. Why? His name is Parthasarathi because he worked as the charioteer of his friend Arjuna. But still, how can Parthasarathi mix with Radha? This same Parthasarathi spoke the Bhagavad Gita, synchronizing all the many diverse meaning of Vedas into a coherent unit, which may give him an aura of aloofness, grandeur, irreproachability, and awe. But Srila Prabhupada considered the friendly side of Krishna, which can make the unification compatible.
Also, Amrendra Prabhu said Krishna was remembering Vraj, Sarvadharman Parityajya, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraj. He's telling Arjuna to take shelter of Vraj Dham. Krishna is remembering Vrindavan.
Here are some unyielding clues which tell us that Srila Prabhupada's inner mood is. While in Kurukshetra, the gopis feelingly implored Lord Krishna to return to Vrindavan. The gopis immediately invited Krishna to come back to Vrindavan. The transcendental emotional existence of the gopis is the basic principles of Lord Chaitanya's teachings. Okay, in TLC, Lord Krishna also confirms this, where he tells Bhagavad Gita, Man manabhav madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vishasnam pratijana. Always think of me. We should take special note of Srila Prabhupada writes next, such a direct instruction from Krishna is more important than any Vedic instruction or even regulative principle. Here Srila Prabhupada is hinting at spontaneous devotion in regard to this verse, giving us a direction. Where is it leading to? Srimati Radharani. So in Bhagavad Gita, his Partha Sarthi, when he spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, he is saying, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So that is, so where is this? It leading to spontaneous devotion, he's saying. Where is it leading to? Srimati Radharani, of course. Sri Partha Sarthi is directing us in this way. Perhaps we study Bhagavad Gita. We should do likewise. Now, Srila Prabhupada. Yeah.
Also, Mahatmanastum Mam Partham Devim Prakritim Ashita. Krishna is referring to Radharani. Those who are great souls, they are under the protection of Srimati Radharani. That's the middle verse of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. Bringing Sri Partha Sarthi, now Srila Prabhupada is bringing Sri Partha Sarthi to Srimati Radharani is more important than any Vedic instruction or regular principles. He wants Partha Sarthi to relinquish his chariotary role and whatever chivalry there was and just come to Vrindavan to be with Radha. To further convince us, we read in Bhagavad Gita purport to the same verse. These words stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna. Like Prabhupada says in one purport, the very form with two hands carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feathers in his hair. A little later, this is said, one should fix his mind on this original form of Godhead Krishna. One should not even divert his attention to another form of the Lord. In analyzing this combination, we have to conclude there is a mixture, but a favorable one. Out of all permutations and mixing of the various relationships, only one fits what Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada's inner temperament can be discerned thus. With the ecstasy of devotion and conjugal love, a mixture of laughter and fraternity is compatible. So in conjugal love, there is laughter and fraternity, friendship. That is Sri Radha in Madhurya mixing with the fraternal side of Sri Partha Sarthi, who advocates spontaneous devotion. So Arjuna is in Sakhya Ras. So Sakhya and conjugal also there is Sakhya and furthermore, this mixture is dominated by Srila Prabhupada's internal mood or permanent ecstasy, that of service to Sri Radha, and is taken as the whole, while the fraternal side of Sri Partha Sarthi moves to the background or is dissolved as it were, as is considered. Okay. Despite all this evidence, if one still feels what Srila Prabhupada did was rasabhas or something out of order, he quotes Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami comments in this connection of perverted mellows that such a loving state of mind is not possible for all. It is possible only in the case of gopis of Vrindavan. Perhaps this gives a clue to who Srila Prabhupada is. One thing is certain, he knew these things. Okay, so yeah, he says, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that when Krishna tells Arjun, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So this is coming from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. He begins to feel so much separation from the inhabitants of Vraj that his knees begin to buckle and he almost faints. So Sri Partha Sarthi is feeling intense separation from Sri Radha. And this is the inner meaning of the name of these deities established by Srila Prabhupada. So Partha Sarthi is feeling separation from Radha. That's why it's with Radha Partha Sarthi. So Radha Partha Sarthi means he's Partha Sarthi, but he's feeling in the Kurukshetra, he's feeling separation. There's a morning walk in. So Achyutananda Maharaj asked about two sets of deities, one within ISKCON, another elsewhere. At our New Delhi center, the deities are called Sri Radha Partha Sarthi. Since Partha Sarthi means chariot driver for Arjuna, he wanted to know how Radharani, who is only present in Vrindavan Leela, could be included when Krishna is in that role. When is Partha Sarthi, how can Radha be with? Prabhupada answered, when Krishna is Partha Sarthi, Radha is out of him. Does it mean Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shakti? When he's fighting, the Ladini Shakti is there. It is not manifest. So, even in Dwarka, he's there, Radharani's gopis and all. So there are so many comments devotees are Like some deities, there is only Krishna. Like Radharaman, right? Although it's Radharaman, but there is no Radharani deity. Or there is on the side that was later on maybe put or something. But they say in Krishna's heart, Radharani is always there. So even though Krishna is alone, but Radharani is always there.
Mm.
Okay. So much discussion is there.
Like who said the Lakshmi was there? Lakshmi is there when Narayana is there, but in the chariot of Arjuna, where was Lakshmi? Was it Hanuman was there? So wherever Ram is, Hanuman is there.
That is in Radha, that is Krishna's heart, Radharani is there. So we can say like that. So wherever Krishna is there, Lakshmi is there, because Krishna is cannot live without Radharani. So that's how.
Even in Krishna's name, Radha is there.
Huh?
Even in Krishna's name, Radha is there.
Another thing they say about Rasa Bas is putting peacock feather on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the role of a devotee. So how can you put a peacock feather on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Because that will remind him of his position as Krishna. Or he wanted to came in the mood of Radharani. So if you put a peacock feather on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now he remembers that he's Krishna, but actually he wants to, he's come as in the mood of Radharani. So he came with the golden complexion of Radharani. So there is also some discussion about that, whether we should put peacock feather on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mm. And Tulsi should not be at the feet of Radharani. Tulsi is also a gopi.
But Radharani, they don't offer Tulsi at the lotus feet of Radharani, only to Krishna. And
No, some people don't know, right? So we know why Tulsi cannot be offered to the feet of Radharani.
Yeah. So you're saying in some temples they do that?
Not some temples, but generally people don't know.
Yeah, Vrinda Devi is the assisting in Radha Krishna's pastimes. Like Radha, Tulsi Devi is. Of course, you can say Vrinda Devi is also servant of Radharani. All the gopis are servants of Radharani. So
Yeah,
that,
but so then why don't we put Tulsi at Radharani's feet?
yeah, I don't know. Because, but that is not done in any temple I've seen. But why we don't do that? That's the question. Okay, that's a good question. Yeah. Isn't there was some conflict that happened or something? Who cursed Radharani?
Yeah, Radharani cursed Vrinda Devi to become Tulsi in the material world.
Because Krishna was with Vrinda Devi, right?
Yeah.
That's why Radharani.
I think it was a love triangle. That was Viraja. When this
So how
Radharani's
Vrinda
brother
Devi get cursed?
Sridham cursed Radharani, and Vrinda Devi was cursed by Radharani. Yeah.
Why she was cursed? Vrinda Devi was cursed by Radharani.
Yeah, I think there were some feelings in her heart for Krishna.
Okay. Okay, so it's all inconceivable, we can say, but anyway. We'll stop here. It's Tulsi leaves are not offered to Srimati Radharani. Yes, that is true. Why? Tulsi is considered the eternal consort and wife of Lord Krishna. Okay, that is why. So there may be some competition between Radharani and Vrinda Devi.
So it's a rasa bhas.
Yeah. But in one sense, we say Vrinda Devi is the one who arranges for Radha and Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Right? She's the one who
Yeah, that's right.
makes Radha and Krishna come together. So,
Mm.
okay, so she's not in competition. Okay. They're all very difficult to understand. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you.